So we'll get started. Our main topic today is tech equipment buying. And if you're online, you can mute your audio and turn off your video until the question and answer at the end of the presentation. You can use the chat to ask a question or comment during the presentation. And the handout is out on the PC Club website in the past meetings files. And after we get going, I think Jim will attach it to the chat out there. For the people here, I think Jim said the handouts are back on his desk. So unfortunately, we don't have. But there's not a lot. But if you want to get it, you can download it from the website after the meeting and look at it. Agenda will cover some. Yes?
If you printed them, we have a cloud printer really nearby.
People want handout?
Yeah. I would say print 21.
Well, or if you can make a copy too, you could take kind of this.
I think it's just easier to
I
make
got a rate.
Okay.
cloud. I could even take your badge if you wanted me to log
Yep.
in and pull 21
There's not a lot of people I'd like to see.
Okay, while they're getting the handout printed, we'll cover some of the club status. Future meetings coming up this Friday. There is a Macintosh SIG on November 18th. So if you do have an iPad or an iPhone or a Mac, it's worthwhile joining that. They meet monthly. We also have our next question and answer session is Tuesday, December 5th. And then our next general meeting will be Wednesday, December 20th. And the topic there will be smart devices. We'll talk about Alexas and lights and plugs and cameras and that, and some of the features and what I use and have set up. Officers, we've got Jim wandering around there. He's our president. Linda, I don't see Linda here. She's our vice president. Paul Ebert is our membership secretary and back there. Paula is.
I'm right here now. I moved.
Oh, she moved here. Paula is our treasurer. Chuck here is our recording secretary. Mike Griffin leads the Mac SIG. Andrew is our communication coordinator. I'm a director at large, and we've got volunteers that help us there. Members old and new can pay Paul if you do have your dues. And also a reminder, if you're changing emails, make sure to notify us because that's the way we keep in touch and send out notices like for this meeting. If you do have suggestions for topics, you can email us your ideas for the topics. You can talk to any of the board members, and we're always looking for people to volunteer to present on hardware, software, or if you don't want to present, we have a monthly eBytes newsletter. You can put it in there. The website, we do have a website, so if you miss any of the meetings or want to revisit any of the meetings or don't have a handout, you can go out to the club website and the recordings. We usually try and record the meetings. Those will be out there along with the slides. In fact, just one second. I got to make sure I'm recording here. Yep, I am recording. Let me go back here. And so we also have our monthly eBytes newsletter out there, and the link is on here, but it's also sent out in all the emails that we do. Since this is the end of the year, we do an annual survey every year, and so that'll be going out before the end of the month. And if you could fill it out and return it by the 22nd, that'd be great. We always have good participation. We have over 100 members in the group, and I think our last survey we had like 48, so we got about 50% of the people that responded, which is great because it's a long survey. If you've ever taken a survey, we ask a lot of questions, but we ask a lot of questions because as the board, we use it to make decisions about how to hold these meetings, what topics we should have, and we just generally how the PC has changed over the years. Okay, before we get to the presentations, I want to thank Paula. Paula did most of the work or all the work for ordering the pizzas and getting the room here and that. And then we had Chuck with the water and the cookies there. And although Chuck didn't get me chocolate chip cookies, so I don't know. We'll give him a little. We'll give him a little. Good job. Good job. And then Jim always helps too. So thanks everyone for the food there. Our format today, because we've got a lot of people in person and that. Feel free to get up at any time, grab some pizza. Also, you can ask questions, so it's a little more informal than when we were doing stuff online more. Okay, let's get to our main topic, which is tech equipment buying by myself, Tom Kreuzer. Before we get to that, I was going to mention last week a number of the board members, we went to, last Wednesday, we went to just outside of the 3M store in building 222, and we were recruiting people to join the PC club. And I think we've got Ed here, and then we've got Elizabeth here. So Ed and Elizabeth are new members there, and I think we have one or two others that will be joining or stuff like that. They took a lot of the candy bars. I don't know if we could go by candy bars to equating to new members, but we handed out brochures and candy bars, and it was fun to see everybody there. Okay. The last 3 years have presented some unique challenges with shortage of products and computer chips, so that's something to be aware of. It's also tricky to know when to shop. Most retailers have already kicked off their holiday sales. So if you haven't started seeing the sales everywhere, you must be living in a cave somewhere. Consumers have to decide whether to buy early or to make sure that they get the item that they want, or hold off in the hope of getting a better deal closer to Christmas or whenever. There's many deals that are masquerading as fantastic bargains, and they may not be as good as they look. It's easy to get fooled with imitations and things like that, so we'll have a few tips in that relating to that. Okay, we'll start out with the top 5 shopping sites, and this remains pretty constant every year. Number 1 is Amazon, number 2 is Target, 3 is Newegg, 4 is Best Buy, and 5 is Walmart. And if you haven't seen, brand new this year, and I don't have it on the list, but I would guess over the next years it'll work its way up in the list there, is Temu. Temu is a new company created in China, and it's meant to kind of crush Amazon. So and Temu, if you haven't seen the ads, first when I started seeing some of the Temu ads, I couldn't believe the prices that they were selling things. So you can get Bluetooth earplugs there for $4. You can get stuff 40 to 70% off of what you might see it on Amazon or eBay or other sites there. They don't have particularly the name brand big items from like an HP or stuff like that, but they have knockoffs of everything under the sun, and their prices, like I say, are unbelievable there, and that out there. So if you haven't given them a shot, look out there, take a look. The other drawback of using Temu is normally, like if you have Amazon Prime and you're getting 1 day or 2 day delivery, or you're used to fast delivery, Temu doesn't have as many distribution centers and doesn't get the stuff out quite as fast. So typically the items will ship in 5 to 10 days, but if they're held up and they have to come from China, it could be a month or more for you to get your item. But certainly it's worth checking out Temu there. Yes.
Just if it'll help, they kind of bombarded anybody that was using Chrome, with keyword ads. So, at first, the ads were kind of inappropriate. They were like, stuff we can't search as when you're at work. So I clicked on report this ad, and then it started going to like consumer electronics. So I'm just saying if you're going to, I guess don't get thrown off by what they initially offered. It was pretty, yeah, it was like risky. There was adult. So,
Okay.
that's what I saw. I don't know where that came from.
What Temu did is certainly if you're on any of the social networks and that when they launched, and they launched last November, I believe they launched. They bought ads everywhere. So on Google searches, on Facebook, anywhere you went, you were seeing these items. And yeah, if you're not familiar with when you see items like Ed mentioned, if you're seeing items that you don't like or companies that you don't like, just go up and say, I don't like this ad, and you won't see any more ads like that.
Because Google does take that into consideration when you click on the X.
Yeah.
Report this ad, they'll ask you why.
So if you get stuff on Facebook that you don't like, or the ads, because you can't get rid of the ads, but what you can do is you can say, I don't want to see them from this company or this type, and you won't see them. You'll see other ads, so it's not going to get rid of the ads, but you have that. Okay. No, good deal there. Yeah, Hal?
Micro Center, which I think is in, is it St. Louis Park? It's a wonderful place to shop. They offer all sorts of free service, problem solving service. It's just a little remote.
Yeah, so this is a chart from the data from the last club survey, because we asked you where people shop. And this aligns with the most popular. Certainly Best Buy is there, Amazon's there, Costco's up there, the Apple Store, Target, Walmart, and these various companies that you can take a look at. So if you're looking for something, this can kind of help you, and you may want to check out some of the places there if you haven't looked before. Gifts for the holidays, we also have out on our PC Club website. I mentioned that there are deals. So where is my mouse? Let's go out here, click. So on the PC Club website, if you go out to deals, you'll see some items. So if you are interested in Apple products, and if you're going to the Rosedale store or even the Mall of America, there are some discounts and some specials for 3M IDs and retirees. You need to have your card and talk to Johnny out at Rosedale, but you can ask for that. Some of the other discounts that we have, these are employee prices from various companies, Dell, HP, things like that. We also have some tips on if you're donating to charity, recycling stuff, and Price Shopper comparison apps there also. And then if you're doing rebates, some things to look at. So check out that for the discount codes, the tips, and the rebates. I will put this disclaimer. So even though these are employee prices or discounts, frequently you can find better deals out there if you just keep watching or use some of these apps and wait till a price comes up. So none of this stuff is supported by 3M Corporate or 3M IT or the IT Helpline. It comes from the 3M Club or the Personal Computing Club has talked to, like this Johnny out at Roseville there. Okay, let's talk about some tips. First tip, start early. Deals have already kicked off, and there's already been a number of sales there. But also, most of the hot products may sell out quickly or maybe in short supply as you get closer to Black Friday and Christmas time. So be flexible. It used to be that if you wanted the best deals, you had to wait in line on Black Friday after Thanksgiving, and and hope that they had the limited supply at Best Buy, that you were going to be one of the lucky ones to get the price there. But nowadays, the indoor skip the indoor sales, in-store sales, and shop online. It's much easier to shop online. You don't have to go out there. If I order a big screen TV, I don't have to worry about, will it fit in my car, or how much does it weigh, or what is it? Have it shipped right to your door, and you don't have to worry about any of that. So retailers are offering more promotions online than they do in the stores. Most online stores offer you free delivery. So if you're buying anything that's over like $35, usually you get free delivery, even if you don't have Amazon Prime or anything. And some of them who don't deliver directly to the consumer will ship it to a store. Or you can get the curbside pickup too, to make it easier to get. Bigger items that are more complex, you may want to see those in person before you buy. So if you do go into a store and look at certain models and see something that you like, make sure and write down the model number, go back to your computer, do your search on these popular websites and things like that to find the best deal there. You can always use websites and apps to check how good the deals really are. So there's Google Shopping. So if you do a Google search, there's a button there for Google Shopping. Price Grabber, Shopzilla. If you're in a store, there's smartphone apps like BuyVia, Shopkick, ShopSavvy, and Shopular that let you scan the barcodes and will compare the prices and tell you where the best deals are. You can also use sites like bestblackfriday.com, Deal News, Black Friday, a number of sites there. You can also sign up for deal alerts, which will alert you when they see a lower price or the lowest price. The other extension that I recommend, like for Chrome or for the Microsoft Edge, is Camel. And you can actually go out to the website itself too, and if I go in here and I'm going to search for an Amazon Dot. Let's see.
I'm wondering that.
That's a smart device, the little round hockey puck, or right here, the round spear there.
It's like the Echo, but smaller.
Yeah. It's a smart device that you can ask Alexa, you can ask it questions, it can play music, it can do all these different things. But this is an example, so I search for this. It'll tell me what models are you looking for, and let's just pick this first model here. Once you have that, it'll tell you, in this case, it was finding it out on Amazon, and the current price on Amazon is $49.99. It didn't see it in stock at some of the other third parties, but that's okay there. Amazon makes the Amazon Dot, so if you're going to buy it, you probably buy it from Amazon there. But then it has this Amazon price history. So here's the price history of this Amazon Dot over the last year, and it's fluctuated. $49.99 is the list price, so I wouldn't buy this right now from Amazon. You're paying the highest price that it is. I'd look for it to go down to, just back in October for a couple of weeks, it was down to $22.99. So, and you can put in watches in here where it'll notify you then when the price does, but this is just an example to show you where you can check and see the price. But you can see how over the course of the year, depending on when you bought, about half the time Amazon was selling it for the list price of $49.99, and the other times it varied from $40 down to the $22. So a package like Camel is very convenient there. Also, for any of these companies, you can use their loyalty programs. So like Target has the Target Circle. Join the Target Circle. You'll get notified, coupons and promotions. And Walmart has its own thing. So you do have these loyalty programs. The other tip, or some more other tips, are get social, and that means going out and looking like at their Facebook, Instagram, or Twitter feeds, because all the major companies, including 3M, have their own feeds. So they have information out there. Frequently, they'll have exclusive deals and promotions on their various sites. I mentioned here, create a budget and stick to it. Do your best to resist impulse buying. So hopefully you're not an impulse buyer that gets on late at night and starts buying everything that they see popping up on the screen. Be selective, know what you want and what you want to pay for it. Check the store policies in advance. It's always good to know a store's price match policy and return policies. As an example, Target has already announced that shoppers buying anything from October 10th through December 24th will be able to request a price adjustment if the price drops later in the season. That's if the Target price drops between that time. You can go back at any time and get the lower price there. Target also says it will continue its policy of matching selected competitors' pricing for 14 days of a customer's purchase. A lot of the matching, though, is hard to do because many of the manufacturers make a specific model for a specific vendor. So the model, let's say it's a Samsung TV that you really like. Well, guess what? Target has a different model than Walmart has or somebody else has. And that's how they kind of protect themselves from things there. Here I mentioned add items to your shopping cart if they have a price that you like, so that you can find them again quickly and be all set to order when the price drops there. Then go to check other websites and retailers to see what their price is and if it's a good deal. Put an item in your cart, doesn't reserve it, so you haven't locked in anything. If it's a short supply item, you run the risk that they may run out or it may be on back order. But so be aware of that. You need to place your order to get a confirmation that you actually will get it there. You can Google search for reviews. Example, you can look for best tablets, reviews there, and see some different articles, blogs, whatever's out there. But be careful what you click on because the first entries that you're going to see in Google are the sponsored or the ads. So those are companies that have paid to have their results showing up at the top. So I don't recommend clicking on any of those. I recommend clicking on legitimate reviews by legitimate companies and not sponsored or ads out there. Some more tips: refurbished devices, and I recommend refurbished devices to a number of people. However, you do have to be very careful, especially now with Windows 10 machines not capable of being upgraded to Windows 11. So you don't want to buy a device that is refurbished that can't be updated to Windows 11. You also don't want to buy a laptop if it doesn't contain a new battery. So in the process of refurbishing, if they didn't replace the battery, you don't want a battery that's on its last legs and that. So be careful there. Also, Chromebooks, if you've bought an older Chromebook, typically they're only good for 5 years. They will not be upgraded. The operating system will no longer be upgraded after like 4 or 5 years of use. So if you're buying a Chromebook that's been refurbished and is 4 years old, you'd have roughly a year left of getting updates to it. You don't want that. Only the newer Chromebooks within the last few months, the consortium that approves the Chromebooks have come up with a policy where all the new Chromebooks will have a 10-year life support, where the operating system will continue to be updated for 10 years. So The newer ones are okay, but older ones, watch out. They're limited life. If buying secondhand, like at a Facebook Marketplace or Craigslist, those can be good for local buying. eBay is great. You can check the sold prices, go to the advanced search, check sold prices to see what's a good price for used equipment. This I run into a lot of people in information technology. The saying for this is analysis paralysis. You get people who don't make a decision. They want to buy something and they get caught up with doing online searches and, oh, I see it here for $1 less, or I'm not sure if I should get this model or get that model. Set a time limit on how much time you're going to spend doing some of these things. I mentioned earlier this year I needed a new phone. Well, I set a time limit of 1 hour. 1 hour I was going to investigate exactly what phone I wanted and where I was going to get it from. I wasn't going to spend any more time and effort than that. And so don't get caught up in spending too much time or effort for some of this stuff.
Were you successful?
Yes. Yeah. So you can look at the past presentation or that. Understand the shipping and return policies before you buy. If there is a return window, understand how it works, how to return it, what documents you need, and is there a restocking fee. Okay, so those are the tips. In general, we'll talk about some of the stuff and then we'll get into some details. The 10 best things to buy this season, tech type things. Televisions. Televisions are always popular. You can get cheap 4K and now 8K TVs or 70-inch that are ripe for the picking. You can get a cheap 4K TV for $250, I've seen them for. So, and that's a smart TV where you can run the apps on and stuff like that. So there are some low priced options there. Low priced laptops, and I mentioned here, don't forget about Chromebooks. Chromebooks typically are about half the price of a Windows type laptop. So you can get a Chromebook starting at $179 a laptop, and if you pay $350, you can get touchscreen Chromebook and higher resolutions than that. Tablets. Tablets are always popular. Amazon Fire tablets and iPad. And I'll talk a little later about the iPad, what I recommend there. Smart speakers. They've gone from niche gadgets, that's the Amazon Dots and that, to must-have devices. Over half the houses in the United States have a smart device in there, whether it's audio or video there.
And the other half are all in your house, from what I understand, right?
I have a number of devices in my house, and actually I like people who buy it and then don't use it, because I think it was 3 months ago or so, I went to a church sale. I like garage sales and church sales. I went there and got 2 Amazon Dots for $1 a piece. So if you don't like the technology, give it to me. I can use it there. I have it down in my workroom, and I have in my bathroom. I have them all over, and so I can be playing songs. I can be making telephone calls. I can be checking the weather. I can do this from all over.
Are you using a mesh router?
No, I have a relatively small house, and I've talked to look in the past on home networking, and so I specifically put my router in the middle of the house, and I put it up high. I get a good signal all over my house, and but if you have certainly if the bigger the house, things like that, then you may need a mesh router or and I don't recommend repeaters or that, but some people will put in repeaters, but you can get a setup no matter what kind of house you have. Okay, another popular thing, headphones and earphones, wireless, the Bluetooth, so all kinds of deals. Watches and fitness trackers. We all plan to live our best lives next year. And if you didn't attend or don't recall the smartwatches when we talked about those, you can get an Apple smartwatch, the low end, for I think $279. So but then you should have an Apple iPhone to work with it. If you have an Android, I wouldn't recommend getting an Apple Watch. So, and you can see that presentation for more details on that. Smartphones seem to have a life of about 3 years at the most. Some you might get 4 years out of, but because the cameras get better, the CPU's in there, the memory, the capabilities, the Wi-Fi, since all of these standards are constantly changing and getting better, if you want to get the best performance and the best deal, you have to keep up to date with these devices. DNA tests, you can usually get those at half price. Find out who's your real daddy, or see some paths in the family tree there. Video games, if you're a video gamer, this now is the time of the year to buy. You usually see a lot of 2-for-1 deals. Cameras, even though your phone has a high-end camera, or a decent camera, it's not really a high-end camera. If you really do want the best shots, you do want a good digital camera. Also, there are some good point and shoots if you're going on a vacation and want higher quality than what your the camera on your phone can do. Certainly, a point and shoot is easy and give you a lot better pictures than what you can get with the phones there. The other thing is if you've got kids or you're into sporting, GoPros. Mount the camera on the kid's wagon, or if they're skiing, or if they're riding a bike or that, you can end up with some tremendous videos and stuff like that for a very decent price there. Okay, let's talk about some specific gadgets. And what I do here is I go through a couple of different lists. PC Magazine is a favorite reviewer of mine, and CNET is also a favorite reviewer of mine, and they come up with these different lists. So this is from a list they came out with of the 24 must-have tech gadgets under $50. And one of the items that they have is the Wyze cameras, and I've talked about these before. Wyze makes a whole bunch of different cameras and a whole bunch of different devices, but specifically these small cameras, and they are literally and less than 2 inches by 2 inches here, can be put anywhere, indoors or outdoors. The indoor camera, you can see up here, the indoor camera has a list price of $23, and you can find it on sale for $19 or less at some of the places. So the cameras are great. I've got, what do I have? I have 4 cameras around my house, and I have 2 in my father's apartment, and I can monitor my father at all times that way. And so you can get indoor or outdoor there. This is another item here. These are Wi-Fi plugs to control your lamps or other devices. So here's an example here. They're recommending TP Casa Smart Wi-Fi plug, $37. Just today, let's see if I can get to it here. Let me go back here. I get a Menards. Menards came out with theirs. So they have their hot buys. So this is Menards. Here's Wi-Fi, 4 Wi-Fi sockets for $7.99. So $2 a socket to control your house, and that's why I put these sockets. And I bought before from Menards, and they've had different models in that. But this is compatible with the Alexa and with Google Assistant, and you can program them. You can turn them on and off. You can use voice commands. You can do all kinds of things. So to set up a smart home where you can do all these things doesn't have to cost you an arm and a leg. Security cameras for under $20, plugs for under $2 a piece. Now, how can you make a plug that connects to the Wi-Fi has logic in there and sell it for $2, I don't know. I don't know how you could possibly do it. Yeah, Ed.
So, with those Wi-Fi smart sockets, try to stick to one ecosystem because they each require their own app to control them, and you're going to be bouncing around with 5 different vendors.
Yeah,
That's my opinion, but
I'll repeat. Ed is saying if you're going to buy stuff, it's easier if you stick to one particular vendor because each of them does usually have an app to set up. Uh, I'll agree and I'll disagree with you because that used to be the case. I'd say now it's kind of changed. And myself, I have, you're right, I have a Samsung TV, I have a Roku TV, I have smart plugs from 4 different vendors, I have cameras from Wise. And so I have a number of these, but I can bring them all together within Alexa.
okay.
So I don't have to go into all of these apps to do it. I just use voice commands. If I get a telephone call at home, I go, Alexa, mute my TV. My TV's muted. I don't have to pick up a remote. I don't have to do anything. I can just use voice commands, volume up, volume down, change channels, things like that. So, and the same is true for turning on and off lights and integrating it with other devices there.
I would just maybe my advice would, if you're just getting into it, because it can get confusing. I went down that road.
Yeah. Okay. Another popular item from PC Magazine is Amazon Fire TV Stick. And so if you have a box on your TV, or if you have an older TV, that box may not be 4K compatible, so you're living in 1K world. The other thing is this supports voice, so you can talk into it and do your searches instead of moving and typing and trying to do things. So, and you can get these Amazon Fire Sticks on sale at Black Friday, and that you'll see them for $19. So if you have an older one that's older than a couple of years old, it's time to replace it with a new one. They'll be faster. They usually have more memory, and then they support the 4K there. Now, if you're really advanced and you have a streaming service that is pumping out 8K stuff, then you're going to have to look for 8K models of some of these. Okay, another one, wireless earbuds. So if you don't want to pay for the Apple, what is it, the AirPod. Here you can get for $39. You can get a set of pods that are very good. I wouldn't say that they're exactly like this. And on Temu, you can probably get this instead of $39. You can probably get it for $20 or $10 on Temu there.
But it takes 2 months to get to
No, most of it's 5 days, 5 days to 10 days.
for small items. I mean.
For anything. Yeah, for anything that they have on the site. Some items may take up to a month, but it'll tell you when you order and stuff like that. You'll know when you order there. Yeah, the question was, should we be concerned with it being a Chinese-based? There's virtually nothing that, what are they gonna? It's a Bluetooth device. It's not capturing any information. It can't get a password, can't get an account, can't do anything like that. So I would hazard a guess that 80 to 90% of the electronics in your house came from China already. Your microwave, your stove, your refrigerator. What's that?
Is the Temu account where you do anything?
The website can do anything.
Oh, well, Timu, no, it was kind of interesting, and I don't have time really to go in today, but I listened to a podcast, Twit, This Week in Tech, and they were talking about that, and because the federal government is, oh, we've got to shut this down. Well, you can, you're fooling yourself if you think that your data is not available because a Chinese company, if it wants, and it does, goes out to Amazon and buys information. 3M buys customer information from all of these different vendors. You can purchase it. You don't have to have your own app to collect information on people, their address, what they're buying, things like that. And 3M sells its sales information to other companies. So this is a big market out there, and it doesn't matter whether you're Chinese or American or whatever. Your information is out there, and there's really nothing that you can do to prevent it. And it's, again, 3M buys it for market trends. It buys it for sending out, if it has your email address, you'll get notices, things like that. So the information's kind of already out there. And Timu isn't, because you had, well, we won't go into some of the other deals there. Let's continue on. Another device, a very popular device, is the Apple AirTag. And if you're not familiar with these, before Apple came out with its version there, you had Tile. Tile was the main company that had it. These devices are very popular and very convenient because you can use it, you can put it on your car, you can put it in your luggage, you can put it in your purse, you can put it in all kinds of different places that you want to track where it might be. My mother had Alzheimer's, and she liked to hide her purse and her wallet. Well, I put tiles in her purse and her wallet. She was a very good hider, even though they lived in a small apartment. She'd hide it, she'd forget where she put it, and then we couldn't find it. We'd look all over and couldn't find it. Finally, I put these devices in there where now I could locate it, instantly there. So they can be used for that, and obviously you've heard things about cars and stuff like that too. The battery life on these, some of them you can replace the battery. Others, you just buy a new one. Typically, the battery will last at least a couple of years. And that because the device itself, people has a misconception that this Apple AirTag has the ability to connect to the internet and do things like that. It does not. The only way it works is it connects to other iPhones that are around it. And it uses the other iPhones to send its location to Apple servers where you can then find where the locations are. Because if it had cell capabilities, it'd have to cost as much as a cell phone to connect to cell towers and to pass stuff. No, they're selling this for $28. It is you have to be within 30 feet of it with an iPhone, and that for it to pick up and be able to send it. But it is handy to track things. Like I say, most people, if you're a traveler, put it in your bag. This way you can sit on your plane and you can go, yep, looks like my bag is in the hull there, or no. What do you mean my bag is taken off right now and I'm sitting here? I think we got a problem. So for the low cost and stuff like that, you can start putting them on a lot of things. Okay, this is PC Magazine's under $100. So these are a set of earbuds, and earbuds there is all different quality and that. This particular set of earbuds also has a noise canceling. So if you are, let's say, a traveler on a plane, you're familiar with the jet noise sound. Well, if you've never tried noise canceling earphones, these are a miracle. They cancel out the jet noise, and you can hear hear that, so you don't have to just turn the volume up and blast out your ears. The noise canceling will take care of that for you. Yeah, all it is it samples. So it has a little computer in it, and it's surprising at that size. And it just looks at the ambient sound. So there's a microphone in there that's picking up the ambient sounds around, and then that has a pattern to it, frequency and stuff like that, and then it just removes that from the playing that you hear in your ear. So it gets rid of that. Now, if that particular frequency level matches, if you're listening to Beethoven, and that it might have a little more trouble than if you're listening to rock, because rock doesn't tend to be in that same frequencies as jet noise engine or more the hum there. But yeah, it's just sampling and then removing the stuff out, and it does it in fractions of a second, and gives you that.
Just had a conversation yesterday, being an elderly person, tying into hearing aids and how Miracle Ears, apparently somebody's saying this is just phenomenal, and it automatically removes those other sounds that I guess make.
There's all different. The question was she had talked to somebody about hearing aids, and that's it. 2 years ago, the federal government lifted the restriction that hearing aids could only be sold by professional hearing aid places, so like Starkey and stuff like that. If you want a Starkey set of hearing aids, if you're not familiar, you may pay $8,000 for a good pair of hearing aids. Well, that's very expensive.
Okay.
The technology in there, you can go out to Temu, and for about $29, you can get a knockoff that is almost as good as the $8,000 set there. You use your phone to adjust the hearing aids, and it doesn't work for all types of hearing loss, but it's opened the door to people that couldn't afford paying thousands of dollars or going to an audiologist. You can do it yourself, and that's kind of what this technology has proven is. Why do we need some of these things? And it only gets better. These hearing aids can connect. My dad has hearing aids. We connect his hearing aids to his television, so he doesn't have to have the television blaring loud. When my mother was alive, she could get the volume that she wanted, but he had it directly going into his hearing aids. And if he was on the telephone call, we'd connect his phone directly to his hearing aid so he'd hear it. Or if we were in a noisy bar, we could use the speaker off of the phone or a separate speaker and have it go directly to his hearing aid. So he wasn't getting all the ambient sound.
But did it require making adjustments using the phone to instruct the hearing aid to hear the way you
Yes,
wanted it?
yes.
Okay.
And
Not automatic. Needed some manual fine tuning.
there's settings. You have lots of settings in a phone, and this obviously has, depending on the model of the hearing aid, you have all kinds of settings within there. So you can try them, and you can set up what's called modes. So this is the mode for while I'm at home in a quiet space talking to one person, as opposed to I'm in a group setting or I'm out at a Vikings football game. So you can set up different modes and different things. But yeah, lots of advances in that in the last years. And because the restriction was lifted that you no longer need an audiologist, it's a blessing for people that couldn't afford hearing aids before and that to be able to explore some of these.
Is that something you could have a topic on sometime or discussion?
We can see about that. It's been brought up. It hasn't rated high and doing it. Actually, I have a presentation. I give presentations at my dad's senior living facility, and I give a presentation to the memory care unit because just like Alexa, that this next item is, and hearing aids and cameras, all of these things can make the quality of life as we all age better, or if you've got parents that have problems, there's a ton of things that you can get, and the prices just go down, down, down. You know, it's not like you're paying hundreds or thousands of dollars for some of this stuff. It's relatively inexpensive for setting up any of these. Okay, we better get going here. Amazon Dot, we talked about that. Doorbell. So having a doorbell, a video doorbell, used to be when Ring first came out, you were paying $299 for a video doorbell. This one they're recommending is $89, but you can find them as cheap as $49 for a video doorbell. So if you've ever wanted to have one or keep track of who's coming to the door, that great. Amazon Fire HD. This is a tablet, an 8-inch tablet. This is lists for under $100, and on Black Friday you can find them for, in some cases, $49 for a tablet. You know, how can you beat the price there? Tablets aren't great for reading books, so if you're a book reader and you like electronic books, don't use your tablet, buy an Amazon Kindle. And now this is an example of a Kindle here for $99. The Kindles are perfect for if you're on the beach in the sunshine, you can read it. If you're reading at night and you have low light, your eyes won't be strained like it is with a tablet. So if you're a reader, get a Kindle, or your wife is a reader, or whoever there. I get a kick out of these. I thought we got rid of printing out photographs, but now there's these instant printers for printing out photographs that are available. This is a Bluetooth speaker. The speakers, I don't care whether it's an iPhone 15 or a $100 Android phone. The speakers aren't real loud or that good. If you're having trouble hearing or you're playing music or things like that, get yourself a Bluetooth speaker, and you can pay anywhere from $50 to $1,000 and get very high quality speakers. Smart thermostat, just like the plugs there. You can control your temperature in the house, turn it up or down, or if you forgot to turn it down and you're going on a vacation, you can log on, you can see what the current temperature is and turn it up or down. So, and they've gotten, again, down to the price where you used to have to spend $300, $400 for these devices. Now you're seeing them under $100. So there's no reason not to have smart devices as opposed to dumb devices. This is a battery pack that also operates as a stand for your phone. So if you are running out of power and want to carry something around, this is an option here. This I got a kick out of. I don't know if you've seen the ads or seen some of this. It's called a Cosmic Globe Boomerang Ball. So there is no remote control. It lights up and it'll fly around, and I can throw it out to Jim over there and it'll come back to me, and just kind of a different type of a deal, so I included it in. This is another deal. I do fix-it clinics, and I fix a number of things that get broken, and frequently when things get broken, they need to be glued back together. So one of the glues that I use, this doesn't work for everything, but this is an ultraviolet glue. You put it on, and it's kind of wet like water, and then to activate it, it has to be exposed to ultraviolet light. The glue itself comes with this little tiny pen and a little LED. Doesn't work real good, but I purchased a flashlight. It's about 5 inches tall, and it has about 100 times the UV light. And what that means is if you've ever been in your dentist and he's fixed a crown or a filling on your tooth, they'll fill it and then he'll put a UV light in there, and he's got his little shield, and does that, and in an instant, it's hardened and it's in there. That's the way this glue works. Is it's an instant glue. The instant it's exposed to UV light, it gives you glue stuff together there. Doesn't work for everything, but the items that it does work for, it's instant. And you can buy the glue itself. I bought that from China, 3 big vials for $10, and I bought this UV light for $6. So for not too much, you can fix your own things.
Does that thing have a name?
What's that?
Does this thing have a name?
If you just go out and search on in eBay or on Amazon there for instant glue, UV instant glue. You'll see a bunch of them. The names look like Loctite, except it's a knockoff of Loctite, and the instructions that come are Chinese instructions. But the vials themselves are, I have like, I don't know, 3 ounces or that, instead of just a small little tube of glue there. Because I do these fix-it clinics and other things, I wanted a bigger supply, and you can get it. That's the beauty of the internet. This is a router. This is actually the router that I have in my house. I paid $79 for it. It supports Wi-Fi 6. So it's not quite the most current standard, but I had gotten it last year, and we won't go into detail there.
Did you consider a combo router modem?
I've talked about those in the past of a combo, and I don't like the combo because a couple of things. Into my house, I have fiber optics coming in. So fiber optics coming in, CenturyLink put in the modem free of charge. So I don't need a combo there to get it. But modems tend to need to be upgraded about every 7 to 10 years. Wi-Fi routers should be updated about every 3 to 4 years. So they're on different schedules. The technology changes and things like that. I can use this Wi-Fi router, whether I have Comcast, whether I have CenturyLink, whether I have any service provider at all. All it takes is an Ethernet in and has Ethernet connections out and Wi-Fi out. So you have that. But yeah, we won't go into more detail there. Some other ones, just like with the smart devices, the Amazon Dots, I have a couple of Amazon Shows, and the Amazon Show is about the size of a smartphone here, the screen, and then you have video on it. I can play TV channels on there. I can connect to my cameras in my house, so I can say, show me the front door, and it'll show me my camera pointed out the front door. Show me the back door. Show me my dad's living room, and it'll show me my dad's living room. And so I can, don't have to pull out my phone, don't have to connect, don't have to use an app. I can see everything there. This is similar, the Next Hub, to the Amazon Echo Show, except this is a bigger screen here. And if you're doing video chats with family members or grandkids or things like that, these are great, and they start anywhere from $100 to $200. The camera will follow you around the room and some of the devices there, and you'll have a much better experience connecting with people. Okay, I mentioned tablets. I'm not a real big fan of Apple, but I do have an iPad, and Apple does make a very nice screen. And you can get a low-cost iPad. And the iPad that I've recommended over the years is their lower-end iPad, and you can get it on sale for $249, which is a reasonable price. That's the 9th generation. They do have a new one, 10th generation, and that lists at $449. So I don't recommend that because $500, why spend more money than you have to there? For most people, the 249 is going to be sufficient there, and that. Yes.
I can add a killer feature for that. If you have an iPhone and the iPad and your iPhone are signed into the same iCloud account, you could pick up your phone from your iPad. Because not everybody carries their phone around with them. It's nice to be able to, the call will come through your iPad, you can swipe it, and you can talk. And that's the killer feature for iPad.
Yeah, for those online, Ed had mentioned that he connects his iPhone to his iPad, and he can answer the telephone calls. You can also text and receive your messages on your iPad and things like that. Because I do that even with Android. I can get my text messages on. And actually, I could get it on an Android tablet too. But there's ways to do a lot of these things to make your life easier so that you don't have to always be going to one device or that. Yes.
So if you, the Apple Store, if you ruin your iPad, I did that. And then I took it to the Apple Store, and they let me buy a replacement of the same model. You can't upgrade. And it was like very reasonable, like very. You know, it was, you can pay a little more and have it be brand new, like never taken out of the box. But there is another kind, and it's not
Reconditioned.
refurbished. It's better than that. He says, no one ever owned it, and it's like, I didn't get exactly what it was, but no one ever owned it before, and I don't know. Yeah, stolen. I don't know if it was like a display model, but he's like, no, not exactly. So it's like somewhere in between. But it was a great deal. I was grateful because I made a big boo-boo and ruined my iPad. And I love my iPad for reading on my Libby app. I love it.
And even though this is a 9th generation and the other's a 10th generation, all the stores sell both of these models and will continue to sell both of these models. So if you go into a Target or a Walmart or a Best Buy, you'll see the 9th and the 10th generations. It's not like, oh, when they run out of the 9, they're out of the 9. No, they continue to make it because this is a huge market for Apple to sell to. They'd prefer to sell you the 10th generation and make more money, but the 9th generation has a list price, used to be $299, and I think now the list price is $329, but you can find it on sale. You'll see, like at Amazon here, it was just on sale for $249. Okay. Yeah. There are differences. There are different, faster chip, and the display is a little sharper and that. But for most people, again, is it worth it? Yeah. Yeah. So options there. Let's continue.
What would be the advantages to get a 9th generation over a 6th?
Well, what happens with all the phones, and this could be an entire topic by itself, is if you're running an iPhone 6, Apple just this year quit updating it. So it's no longer being updated. You do not want to run a device that is not getting updated. And so no company supports older operating systems. And so as new devices come out, they will sunset or harvest some of the older operating systems and the older devices. The older devices, Apple doesn't make a big deal out of it. They just, you'll no longer get notices to update your phone. They don't do things. And to me, that's a huge disservice. They should be telling people, warning, warning, warning. You are running on a version that is no longer getting patched. So if there's a security vulnerability in there, which there always is in older versions of operating systems, you're susceptible there.
They actually do let you know.
Oh my gosh.
You just need to know where to go.
And you can turn it off, and
You
that.
go out to their website, the Apple website. They'll show you which generations of phones for the coming year will not be supported anymore as far as software upgrades.
It's very planned out. They know,
Yeah.
they know what they're gonna sunset this year.
Okay, let's continue on. I know I've gone past a little bit, and I appreciate people sticking with us. This I wanted to show. This is a new class of kind of computers that you've seen around. This is a Super Mini, and the Super Mini fits in the palm of your hand. Not much bigger than my cell phone here. And this is a Windows 11 machine. And it sells for, you can find it on sale for $150. This is a 12th generation, 4 cores, 4 threads, 16 gigabytes of RAM, 512 gigabyte of solid state hard drive, supports 4K resolution, so it doesn't come with monitors. You could have up to 3 4K monitors connected to this. Has a bunch of USB connections and Ethernet connections and stuff like that. Supports the current standard of the Wi-Fi. Comes with Windows 11 Pro, 2-year warranty. You don't get a keyboard, don't get a mouse, so you have to either use your previous one or buy a new. If you want a Bluetooth or a wireless, you could put wireless with it, or you could plug them in to USB. Amazon listed at $299. But on October 15th, it was $150. So if you're looking to replace an old Windows 10 and stuff like that, don't upgrade anything. Buy brand new. You can buy these devices. The caveat that I'll put out there is there's a ton of Windows 10 ones of these, and you can get them for under $100. The Windows 10 ones can't be updated to Windows 11. So it's a case of they're dumping them at even reduced prices, but don't buy a Windows 10 because you won't be able to upgrade it to Windows 11. And Microsoft will no longer support Windows 10 in a year and a half.
You plug everything into that little thing.
Yes, everything plugs into it, and this device is made to even attach like on the back of your monitor. That's how small it is. It literally is this big.
So will it take any monitor and any mouse?
Any HDMI, and if you have a mouse that has a USB cable, that'll work. If you have a wireless mouse, you can do wireless mouse. So, it's a case there. But this is an example, and people, frequently think they have to spend $1,000 or $2,000, and you don't have to spend that much.
So, quick question. You said they can't be upgraded to Windows 11. What if you bought a Windows 11 license and then upgraded that way?
Many of the devices that just come with Windows 10 on are coming with Windows 10 because they don't support the Windows 11 chipset. In order to run Windows 11, you have to have there's a security chipset that has to be built in. And so if it's 3 years old or 4 years old, 4 years old or more, those CPUs will never be able to be updated to Windows 11. So to move forward, you want something that supports Windows 11. Now you can ask the vendor, can this be upgraded to Windows 11? But if it could be upgraded to Windows 11, they would have put Windows 11 on it and sold it as a Windows 11 machine today.
If you're dealing with an OEM, which is not eligible for version updates,
It could
you
be,
don't have license.
yeah, could be license and things like that. But yeah, if you're buying anything new, a laptop or a desktop, you want to make sure that it's Windows 11 compatible. And if any of the legitimate places that still do sell a machine that is installed with Windows 10 will put specifically in their features that it can be updated to Windows 11. So if it doesn't say that it can be updated to Windows 11, that 99.9% of the time means that it cannot be updated to Windows 11. Okay. Just a couple of other things here. This is Bluetooth. In Minnesota, it gets cold. Why have earbuds in there? You can have your headband, Bluetooth headband there. See? Yep, Bluetooth headband. And that sells for $15 on Amazon. Probably get it for $10 on Temu. This I got a kick out of. This is the last one here. This is a scam. But you may have seen the ads out here. This is the electromagnetic molecular interference antifreeze snow removal instrument. You put this inside your car, and your car was completely covered with snow. Oh, look what happens. It melts all the snow on the outside there. Doctors recommend it. This does not have a battery. It has a solar. This is a solar cell. You put it on the dash of your car. It pulls in. Now, I don't know how it pulls in that when the snow is blocking it, but it pulls it in and then generates all this heat, and I suppose it has a little tiny fan that's supposed to blow that throughout the car and melt all the snow, and I got a kick out of it. It may work in a warmer climate, but it certainly isn't going to work in Minnesota.
It's like one of those days when it gets about 45.
The sun will do it naturally. So if you're interested in buying this, just give me your $50 because it's not worth $50 there. Okay, I know we've gone over questions, comments.
Yeah,
Yep.
yeah, just a reminder to everyone that Tom's gonna have a Q&A session on Tuesday, December 5th from 11:30 to 12:30. So, even if you didn't get them answered today, you could do that. Second reminder is for those of you here, first of all, it's nice to see everyone in person. Thank you everyone for coming, this is great. And
Yeah, nice to see
reminder
everybody.
is, the company store in, building 220 there is still open until 2 o'clock today.
But I thought, as of November 1st, all our cards were no longer, is that first of the year?
January 1st.
And then
January
after
1st.
that, I don't know what happens,
And then what do we do to find an escort?
Is everyone?
Good luck. You won't get in if you can't find an answer. If you don't know somebody who's working,
Just in the general announcement.
give them $10 as the person is coming into the building.
Because I need somebody with an
Get the
active
placard
hat.
stand outside the entrance.
Yeah,
You need an escort.
get your sign.
Chris, we got an announcement here.
Yep.
Appropriate to everybody that's here.
press the button. Yeah,
How's that? Hear me better?
yeah.
No,
No. Maybe, I don't know if it works online or not. I'll spin. So basically, they're changing the visitor process, and that in particular for the retirees, it's going to change as far as going to the company store. You're going to need in the future, starting January 2nd, you're going to need an active employee to check you in. You're not going to be able to go to 224 anymore and hand them your gold pass, and then they let you in through the turnstile, and then down to the company store you go. So it's going to and if you go over to 224 at the guard's desk, they'll hand you a little piece of paper that spells out what the changes are going to be.
So if I understand you correctly, we're good till the end of the year
Right.
for getting into the
The
company store.
new process starts January 2nd.
And then after that point in time, they are going to seek return of our gold cards, or we're supposed to do that voluntarily?
I'm not sure how that's going
They're
to
saying
work.
they want
They
them
said they'd
back.
confiscate it. They'd
Confiscate.
confiscate your badge when you come in.
give them one.
If your badge has got the chip in it, that allows you to go.
Yeah,
It's
That's
got
gonna
a
stop
switch.
working,
yeah.
but they're not gonna seek the return letter that I got with my gold badge. Anybody's retired since then. On my letter, it said that, it says Goodwill Ambassador, it says that you're welcome to any plant with up to, you can walk to any plant in the world within the United States, but apparently it doesn't cover the center. We can't